Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kisei once again coming to you with another beer review. Thank you so much for stopping by and being able to watch the video, get some education, and of course, have some fun and have a beer with me. First, today, we're going to go ahead and get into it. And before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment below. I would definitely love to hear from you. Have beer conversations, personal conversations, doesn't matter. Just comment and have fun, definitely. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Today's beer glass, I'm gonna have this little special one here. It's pretty much like a cup inside of another cup. It's interesting. So you'll see it not push all the way down to the bottom. It'll only be here. So that's gonna be interesting to see. And today, let the trumpets play, dun 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 dun. We have a KBS, man. Now in the beer community, this is very popular. People know about this one, but if you don't know about this, I'm going to drop a little bit of knowledge on you. This is a flavored stout. It's an ale brewed with chocolate and coffee, aged in bourbon barrels. So that means, of course, it is a barreled aged. I've done a video before talking about barreled aged processes. So you can go back to that if you don't know what that is. Just go back to that and it'll explain kind of how that process works and how this is just like that. It doesn't tell specifically which bourbon this is. I actually went to the brewery based out in Michigan, more specifically Grand Rapids, and I went up there and there was a special release going on, and so it was super cool to kind of be a part of that. And I was drinking some cool, I think it had tequila, barreled aged beers, and just numerous special releases. The Panther Cub and a whole plethora of them. I think another one would be things like Backwoods Bastard, Dirty Bastard, or something. Like oatmeal stouts. They had a whole bunch of stuff. And actually, funny enough, this is literally one of my I would say top 5 beer companies. This is actually one of the first beers that I've ever had that made me actually get into beer. So Founders has definitely paved the way to how I am now as far as beer goes, because definitely was able to learn a lot from it. But getting back to it, don't want to go too far off of the old beaten path there. So what we got here is the Imperial Stout brewed with a massive amount of coffee and chocolates, then cave aged in oak bourbon barrels for an entire year to make some wonderful bourbon undertones come through in the finish. This makes taste buds squeal with delight. And so in that whole cave aged an oak bourbon barrels, they make sure there's no light that touches this stuff. No light touches the beer because it'll affect the flavor. It's kind of keeping it in a nice cool area. It might not be temperature control because it's like in a cave. It might just be just underground, and literally that's kind of how they operate. They probably don't. They probably have some type of aeration going on, maybe, but probably not. They probably kind of keep it just literally underground and let whatever temperature, fluctuation just happen. That's what they do with wine and bourbons in general. They just let that area do its thing. They probably have something to kind of keep it at a decent area of temperature, but you can't fully control it when you have a whole plethora of barrels there, and you're trying to control all that temperature, and there's nothing to. It's not inside of like a house or inside of like a refrigerator or anything like that. So this one actually specifically was bottled in 2018. So it's been aged for a little moment. Even when it was bottled and sent out, it's actually was sitting around from a friend of mine, Shane. He actually provided me with this. It's been sitting around for a little while. So you usually, when you get these, you kind of hold on to them for a little bit, not too long. You don't want to hold them for too many years because then the taste will probably get really weird and probably not so great. And we're coming in at a strong 12.3% alcohol volume. And now, if y'all know me and y'all know my taste buds, I usually like my beers to be of the darker, so porter stouts, English stouts, things of that nature. I usually love those, and boom, here we go. And they're usually those drinks usually are going to be higher alcohol volume, so I'm not going to complain about that. So we're going to go ahead and right into it, and I'm going to pop the top, get in really quick here. Boom. Ooh, all right. Looking good. So doing a nice little pour, coming out real smooth, real smooth. I'm gonna pour a little slower. I kind of did a heavy pour there. There we go. Gonna be able to fit all that. Get a little heavy at the end. Perfect. Let that finish. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, just getting right into it. One of the things is I can smell that alcohol. It is pertinent. Like it is definitely there. But if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Untapped. That is UNTAPPD. No ED. No ED. Just D. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The name on there should be Keysay. It's KEY_SAY. Just follow me on there. Follow along with some of the beer reviews that I do in real time, of course. You can see me populate that. So, soon if you're for friends, you'll see it like a comment come through. Now, this one's going to be kind of tough because I have to do it 18. So, that was easy. I actually found it. Found it very, very quickly, actually. Probably can see that. Found it. I know it's blurry. It's a lot of stuff on there, but nonetheless, it found it. So I'm gonna check it in, and it even says on here that this is no longer in production because, well, it's 2018. They come out with it once every year. So once they make it, they don't make that same type again. Because I got told when I was at the tap room that they initially don't have a specific bourbon that they use. They use different kinds every time, but it is bourbon, and it's usually going to be pretty good quality based bourbon. So checking in. Go ahead and take a nice little picture of it real quick. Gotta do it, gotta do it. All right, picture's been taken. Let's get into it. I smell it already. Like I said before, it's got a beautiful syrupy taste to it, like a maple syrup almost kind of smell to it. Like it just is. It's really nice. You got a little bit of alcohol on there, and the syrupy smell might be coming actually from the bourbon itself, because a lot of those are kind of have a syrupy sweet smell to it. But that chocolate is definitely shining through. Like it's like a cocoa nib type of chocolate, not like milk chocolate, like a very specific, almost powdered chocolate deal here. So it's pretty good smelling. But let's get into it and taste it. Again, a lot of bourbon on that. It is it's kind of hot. It's not bad, but I love KBS's. They're just so easy to drink. There's just smooth drinkings for sure. Like you can just keep on sipping on these. Of course, you sip it slow. Always make sure you drink responsibly. But like I said, this is pretty high ABV. Anything above 10%, you definitely want to take your time. Yeah, that's pretty good. I get a little bit of the chocolate on there, even more so faint on the coffee. The coffee taste is like on the after. It's on the back end. Like it's now like just sitting on my tongue like as an aftertaste. So initially it's kind of sweet, kind of syrupy, definitely alcohol in the beginning. Like the chocolate in the beginning, the bourbon in the beginning, then it goes over into that coffee as an aftertaste and kind of just sits there. And it's mild too. It's not really grounded coffee, so it's pretty good. I kind of like that. So I'm gonna rate this up pretty high because I do love it, and I've always loved it. I've had this kind before. I've had a couple of them. I still have a bunch of them. I have some ranging from 2015 all the way to like 2021. So I don't have a 2022 yet, but I mean, I'll get one. But I have a bunch of them, so I'm trying to actually go through them, share them with friends. Things go right, I might be able to share some with you guys, here pretty soon. But yeah, so that'll pretty much do it. And I definitely recommend, trying this out. If you don't, definitely find your nearest beer store that has this, because again, it is a classic. If you're just kind of getting into beer, it's something that I probably wouldn't recommend you jump into. But if you do like bourbon, I definitely recommend. It's a definite for that. If you like bourbon, but if you're just kind of getting into beer, I probably wouldn't recommend this. Probably get a couple of lighter beers first, or something that's a lot sweeter. But if you do want to venture into that higher ABV and the bourbon styles or bourbon barreled things in general, this is definitely a place you want to go. So, like I said, leave comments. Make sure you like the video if you like it. But yeah, so make sure you go ahead and like Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave some comments. Definitely love to hear your take if you had a KBS before. If you haven't, please get one and then definitely leave a comment, or just leave a comment just because you wanted to know more about it. I'll be more than happy to talk on it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all take care and have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.